Hey, Joey, what's up, man?
Hello?
Hello. Joey?
Yes.
Alright, we got you on the line. That's good. Alright, so first of all, how did you first get into pro wrestling? How did you begin watching it?
I have three older brothers, so some of my earliest memories are professional wrestling. I just kind of latched onto them, and they got me into it. So, that's just what made me a fan growing up.
That's awesome, man. I remember growing up like that, too. I remember I had my dad. I walked into the room one day. I was about maybe 3 or 4 years old, and we were watching Attitude Era WWE, and I believe it was like The Rock versus Bret Hart on one of the matches. I'm not exactly sure, but I know The Rock was on there, and that was kind of my favorite guy back then because he was The Rock.
That makes me feel old because that means you're really young.
Well, yeah. But anyway, what made you want to become a pro wrestler?
I just grew up with it, and then I had some friends in high school that were into it too, and we went to a WWE show in Anaheim, and we got a flyer show, and we never even knew the Independence existed, and we decided to check it out. We went, we had a really good time, and then one of my friends actually looked into it further and saw that they had a wrestling school, and then wanted to go and try it out, and but he didn't want to do it alone, so we talked a couple of us into going with him, and about 6 months later, I was the only one still going.
Wow, that's an awesome story right there. And now, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. Did you have any favorite wrestlers growing up, or that you looked up to by any chance?
As a young kid, it was Hulk Hogan. It was always Hulk Hogan growing up. Then when I got a little bit older, like teenage years, it was Shawn Michaels. And then when I started wrestling, Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan will always be my two favorites. When I started wrestling and looking for guys that I could be influenced by, I really took to guys like Jamie Noble and Lance Storm, and even when I looked back at some of the stuff from the 80s, Brad Armstrong, all those guys were really great, and I took a little bit of everything that I could from everybody.
That's good, that's good. Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, those will always be the top guys out there if you really look at it.
Yeah.
And now, do you enjoy, by any chance, any other sports other than pro wrestling?
I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a huge Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim fan, so I follow them pretty religiously.
That's cool, that's cool. And also, how did PWG come about? As I've known that you're one of the 6 founders of PWG, how did that come about? Did you concoct this with the other 5, or what exactly happened?
Well, we were all wrestling in Southern California at the time. It was the early 2000s, and there had been a lot of promotions that came up and died, and a lot of guys that had big ideas, but the promotions didn't last. Whether it was guys who didn't know what they were doing in wrestling, or too many yes men, or guys just getting worked, promoters getting worked by a lot of the wrestlers. So we got tired of it. So we just figured, we know wrestling, or we probably didn't at the time, but we thought we did. We knew wrestling pretty well, but we had a lot of connections because we were friends with a lot of people. So we just decided to run one show, and when it was successful, we decided to run a second show, and then this third show, and then in July now we're going to have our 9-year anniversary.
Oh, man. PWG, that's just some great stuff. I've never seen any wrestling company do what you guys do. Because I've seen guys go flips over the top rope, and guys are on the table, and then all of a sudden you go right through the table, the guy that flipped over gets right back up.
Well, that's the point is that to do PWG is kind of an all-star promotion where you get the best guys from all different surrounding areas together, and runs once a month, and just put up some dream matches together. That's
awesome. That's awesome. Now, also, you were in WWE as one of those local competitors. What was your basic role as being one of those local competitors? Was it to impress, or?
It's just to when you're local, when you have matches as a local, your job is to make the other guy look good, and I've been successful at doing that because I've been called back so many times. I've been there doing that for about 7 years. So every time they come to Los Angeles, they give me a call. Which is fun. It's good money, and I get along with a lot of the guys. So it's always a treat when they come to LA.
Because basically all you have to do is just put the other guy over. Is that pretty much it?
Well, you gotta make sure that he shines.
That's alright. Now, as many of you know, or many of your 87%ers know, you were on the TNA Gut Check. And what was going through your head when Jeremy Borash gave you the mic to cut your life or death Gut Check promo?
Well, by that time I had already felt like I was being ambushed. They want to keep everything reality-based, so they really didn't tell me anything going in. I didn't know Taz was even going to be a judge until I got out there. But when I got out there, I kind of felt like the whole segment had an agenda, and the plan was to get the segment over, or the whole idea of Gut Check, whether it was Taz being the tough guy or the fact that not everyone can make it or whatever. I didn't really feel like I had a fair shot, especially with all the fan support. On the 87% of their poll, the Impact poll, it wasn't a poll I set up, it was their poll, and I was trending worldwide on Twitter. Later find out that I was the highest rated segment on that show. I felt like they just had an agenda for Gut Check, and no matter what happened out there, they had already decided that there was going to be a no, and so I can't stand there and just tuck my tail between my legs and be disrespected. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I'm going to stand up for myself, because I'm not going to let anyone talk down to me. If I don't stand up for myself, then who will? Yeah,
that's always true. That's always true. Who's going to stand up for Joey Ryan if Joey Ryan doesn't stand up for himself? Now, as I understand, you were in Ring Ka King, which is TNA's India promotion, and was that kind of your first taste of TNA in your mind, or?
Yeah, yes and no. The promotion's very different from TNA. They aren't really sister promotions; they're more like cousin promotions. TNA is run by Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, and Ring Ka King is run by Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantel. And although they are under the same umbrella, they're very, very different. And but the same guy got me on both. David Lagana, who I worked with at NWA and Ring of Honor and Ring Ka King, was the one who brought me into the TNA Gut Check segment. So in that sense, it was the same connection, but promotions itself are very different.
All right. Now, do you believe, after all the hard work you've put into this pro wrestling business, do you believe that one day the big WWE, after using you as the local competitor for 7 years, as you said, do you think they'll pick you up and sign the moneymaker himself to a contract?
For a long time I thought if that never happened, that I'd feel like a failure. But when I look back at the 12 years I've been in wrestling, I've gotten to travel a lot. I've gotten to wrestle in 8 different countries. I've over half the United States. I've met a lot of good people. I've been a part of a lot of projects, whether it was Wrestling Retribution Project or Wrestling Society X, or working for WWE or NWA or Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. And I've met a lot of good people, and I've done it all on my own terms, on my own scheduling. I have my own agent, so I never have to miss a wedding or a birthday or family occasion. I've gotten to do everything on my own terms and still be a full-time professional wrestler. So even if that never comes, I still feel like I'm pretty accomplished in the business.
And in your mind, after being in several esteemed promotions, Ring of Honor, PWG, Chikara, just to name a few, which company did you have your best experience in, and which pretty much you would call your second home?
It's got to be PWG. I've just been there the longest, and it might even be my first home.
Yeah, these are some great answers you're giving to us, Joey, and thank you so much for answering these questions for us. And do you have anything else to say to your 87%ers, to the Joey Ryan fans that want a mustache ride?
Yeah, you guys can always follow me on Twitter. It's at Joey Ryan Online, or on my Facebook, which is facebook.com/Joey Ryan Online. And I'm very fan-friendly, and I really enjoy all the support I've been getting from the fans. So don't be afraid to come in and say hi and drop me a line. I'm always open to talk.
Thank you so much for taking your time out to answer these questions.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, bye.
You got up against a machine.